This is not a test. This is an emergency broadcast transmission.
2,800 MRAPs must be delivered to DHS by October 1st. No leave will be allowed for U.S. military from September 28th through November 5th. NORCOM yearly training for civil unrest is to be suspended until September 27th to be performed in northeast coastal areas. Date for release of QE3 report is to be moved to October 16th. All DHS agents must qualify with sidearm, shotgun, and AR-15 by September 28th.
Treasury Secretary Jack Lew says Congress needs to work together to comprise a budget before the country reaches the debt ceiling in September. In an interview with CNBC, Lew says even though it's only May, Congress shouldn't delay in finding a solution, saying
the outlook for global capital markets is not encouraging. Warning of segmentation between nations with surplus capital and others will suffer from a death of investment due to lack of access to capital. The most likely scenario is that of a progressive fragmentation of the international financial system. They know when they do this pullback or any type of tapering, because as we know, the central banks told them that they are creating these bubbles and they need to control this, or when these bubbles pop, which is the stock market, treasury bond, housing market, student loan bubble here in America, and the derivative market, of course, when they pop, everything will become crashing down.
Should Americans be concerned that we keep revisiting the debt ceiling fight?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the fact that we continue to rack up debt, that the federal government continues to spend significantly more than is coming in tax revenues, even after all the tax hikes that came into effect this year, indicates that while they've made a lot of progress on spending, they haven't gone far enough, and they need to continue to do more to reform federal programs and bring spending in line with revenue so they don't just keep borrowing more.
Some might be surprised to learn that the fate of America's economy has already been determined, verified, and announced by the Obama White House. Yet, it has received scant attention from the corporate media. In 2011, economist Kyle Bass interviewed a senior member of the Obama administration about its planned solutions for fixing the U.S. economy and trade deficit. Among the questions he asked was about the U.S. exports and wages, but the question itself was not nearly as important as the response he received from the senior administration official. In fact, this single 7-word response clarifies everything, explains everything, and leaves little else to discuss. We're just going to kill the dollar. There it is, the entire agenda in one short sentence.
And when I asked a senior member of the Obama administration last week, how are we going to grow exports if we won't allow nominal wage deflation? And he says, we're just going to kill the dollar. And I said, okay, more you mean. So that's the only answer.
That's a dead answer.
It's a dead answer, but that's where we're headed. And he says, we're just going to kill the dollar.
All National Guard units will complete riot control and disaster assistance training during this year's annual 2-week training. All units must have their training complete by September 30th. Daily testing of emergency broadcast system to begin on September 25th and run through October 2nd.
My name is Robert Whitaker. I'm the Tactical Supervisor for El Paso SRT for Homeland Security Investigations. Well, we have our big vehicle out here. It's an armored vehicle. It's an MRAP vehicle. It's mine resistant, ambush protected. That's what it stands for. And this is what we use to deliver our team to high-risk warrant services.
Actually, there were 2 officers. They both had identical helmets, flak jackets, weapons, everything I wore in Iraq, only it was all blue. The officer on one side had a big patch on his back that said Massachusetts State Police. Another officer next to him, his patch said Boston Police. And so what we're doing here, and let's not kid about it, we're building a domestic army and we're shrinking the military because the government is afraid of its own citizens. The last time more than 10 terrorists were in the same place at one time was September 11th, and all these vehicles in the world wouldn't have prevented it, nor would it have helped anybody. So I don't know where we're going to use this many vehicles and this many troops. Concord is just one little cog in the wheel. We're building an army over here, and I can't believe that people aren't seeing it. Is everybody blind?
Well, Bill, I come from a way of life in the military where you don't buy weapons that you don't intend to use. Why would you? And if you look at what the Department of Homeland Security has been purchasing over the last year, it comes out to like 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition, more than 7,000 fully automatic assault weapons, 2,700 MRAP type vehicles, and now drones. Those are instruments of war. Department of Homeland Security's, who are they going to fight a war against?
How do you answer that?
I don't know. That's a good question. But, you know, a bunch of people up here ought to be asking more questions about this. Why do they need all of that stuff?
And he says, we're just going to kill the dollar.
We're building an army over here, and I can't believe that people aren't seeing it. Is everybody blind?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is J.R. Moore coming to you live from deep in the mountains in the Missouri Ozarks on Thursday, the 26th day of September, year of our Lord 2013. Welcome to the John Moore Show. I got a call last night from a friend. This will be in the form of a notice or alert for all of you there. According to my private source, recently in the last few days, an Air Force officer, either a colonel or a brigadier general, told the people in his outfit the following: get all your money out of the bank before October 1st. One of his men said, why, sir? And the officer replied, because there's going to be a nuke go off in North America. That's as much as I know. I do trust this source as being a reliable source that does not go to flights of fancy. So I'm personally treating it as bona fide information, and it's up to you to do your own research and do whatever you think is best for yourself.
False flag operations are covert operations designed to deceive the public in order to make an attack look like some outside force carried it out.
You're either with us or you're with the enemy.
False flags do not happen very often, but when they do, they change the paradigm we operate in. We all see how the world has been changed forever after 9/11. Every system built on debt needs constant debt to be created, or the system implodes. If the criminal elite can expand the debt system through asset bubbles, then all is well. But what happens if they can't get more debt created? They need to either steal other assets to provide capital for the natural resources of other nations and provide the context to create massive amount of new debt. Our paradigm is failing, and there is no fixing it. There is so much inequity built into the system at every level. The only answer is for a complete collapse.
FEMA purchase orders for 2 million pouches of emergency water to be delivered to FEMA Region 3 by October 1st. FEMA purchase orders for $13.6 million for MREs and heater meals to be delivered to Austin by October 1st. 9-week training course for UN peacekeepers in CONUS to learn urban warfare. They're learning urban warfare, and they need to learn English and U.S. weapons systems. We're having foreign soldiers learn our U.S. weapons systems. This has been going on since the 4th week of July for 386,000 troops to be completed by October 1st. $11 million in antibiotics to be delivered to FEMA Region 3 by October 1st, ordered by the CDC.
The right to a preemptive nuclear strike against China is now part of U.S. law. That's thanks to the National Defense Authorization Act. The Pentagon's also ordered a thorough review of when and how the U.S. could strike at the network of tunnels believed to hold Beijing's atomic arsenals.
Most of the elected officials are on board with the subjugation of the United States to a global system of governance. Some are actively facilitating this agenda, while others are making nominal objections on the stage of political theater, whilst hoping to earn a seat at the global table. It's entertainment for the globalists, distraction of the masses, and diversionary fodder for the talking heads in the media. America has become a captured operation, captured from within.
Eastern-based Coast Guard units to perform massive group training, usually performed in the Gulf, in the Virginia and Delaware areas. This is a 10-day training mission to begin September 26th. God, please help America. Sheldon R. Songstadt, Senator retired, South Dakota State. I echo your sentiments. Senator Songstadt. God help America. This is Rev. Michelle Hopkins. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.